this show has always been a show where we've questioned on whether or not somebody will take less money than what they're potentially going to get so that they can take care of the rest of the roster. Now, everybody says you got to get every dollar that you can possibly get. But when a quarterback does that, that means a lot of dollars from other players aren't going into their pockets. It's only going into the players, the quarterback's pocket. Whenever I was negotiating my deal with a GM that was a big fan of mine, the only thing that was hung over my head every single conversation was, we have to sign Andrew Luck. We have to sign Andrew Luck. The quarterback deals have gone skyrocketed through the roof since the new CBA has happened. There's a higher salary cap with the rev share that the CBA was negotiated, which in turn, the only thing that really meant was quarterbacks are just getting more money and everybody else has a chance, but it's nowhere near what the quarterbacks are getting. And I believe in the fact that everybody should be rich. Everybody should get every dollar that they possibly can. But I'm torn with this case because if you look at case studies, aside from Aaron Rodgers, and aside from potentially Russell Wilson, who led a good team this year, it doesn't seem to work for teams whenever they break off a quarterback for that team to have success. It's just not the way it goes. The LA Rams were in the Super Bowl just last year. They paid Jared Goff. Can't pay anybody else. They stunk. They absolutely stunk. Matt Ryan got paid in Atlanta. They stink. Tannehill got paid in Miami. They stunk. I mean, you just go down the list. Bang, bang. Once Andrew Luck got paid, we didn't make the AFC Championship a game. It's just the way it goes. Whenever you pay one person 15% of the salary cap, you don't have enough cash to go around. Then you see these rookie quarterbacks on these rookie deals have all this success because you can spend money everywhere else. The natural question is to ask is, you know what? Is the right blueprint for success in the NFL to have a quarterback that doesn't take the max deal so you can utilize cash in other places so that that team can have success? And if the team has success, that means your life is much happier than it is whenever you're miserable. Now, granted, will Patrick Mahomes do that? I don't think the NFLPA will let him. That's kind of the way it goes. The NFLPA almost forces these people to take as much money as they possibly can because you're setting the tone for the next player behind you. Now, is there another player that is a Patrick Mahomes coming? Lamar Jackson, maybe. If Lamar Jackson can go on and win a Super Bowl for the Baltimore Ravens, maybe he is well in that air. That rarefied air is somebody that can flip around a franchise quickly, that can win the NFL MVP and the Super Bowl MVP in your first 3 years in the league. Maybe that's something that Lamar Jackson can do. But is that something that we expect from most young quarterbacks? No. So I think Patrick Mahomes is in a different world than everybody else when it comes to his payment. But boy, if he takes a little bit less and they can continue to pay people around him, that team's going to be much more successful. I want him to get every single dollar that he possibly can because just like Josh Sitton alluded to in the first hour, when you're a professional athlete, all the money that you're supposed to make in your entire life comes in a 5 to 10 year plan. In your 20s, by the way, in your 20s. That is supposed to extend for however long you're going to live. Now, I've always said that I'm not going to live long. I've changed that. I want to live forever. But let's say you're supposed to live till you're 70 or 75, whatever it is. That's 45 more years that money is supposed to cover you, your family, your children, everything like that for the rest of your life. If you're only a professional athlete forever, which a lot of guys don't have real degrees because they weren't able to focus on schooling while focusing on football in college, or their degrees aren't worth a damn, so whatever profession they're going to get into, if it's not like media or maybe real estate, if they have smart real estate mind, they're not going to be able to make the money that they, anywhere near the money that they make. So this money is supposed to extend forever. So I am a big fan of get every single dollar you can. Eat however you can eat. But also, whenever one person eats all of the food, there's a lot of runts running around that don't get a lot of food. And that means that you can't build your pack up as strong, which I think a lot of players should think about potentially doing.
Yeah, so they're talking about him getting 40 a year. At the minimum, I think.
You drop that thing down to $35 million a year. Is that not still good? Then you got that $5 million still to spend on an offensive lineman that would love that money, all that stuff.
Correct. Yeah, $5 million is exactly what you get for an above-average offensive lineman.
It's.
But I also, over 5 years, that's $25 million out of his pocket.
I know, and that's why I guess right now the Dallas Cowboys, Dak wants $37 million a year. The Cowboys only want to give him $33 a year. And when you think about it, it's like, yo, Jerry, that's $4 million. Now, this is all alleged. None of these things, by the way, everything you hear has not been confirmed. But when numbers leak out, there's a reason that numbers leak out. It's either a PR advantage for one side or the other or something like that. Marcus Spears, who's from Dallas, played for the Cowboys, said on Get Up this morning that Dak wants 37. The Cowboys only want to pay him 33. And when you're talking about the grand scheme of billions and billions. Well, hello there. Utilize the promo code PAYTHEBILLS and get $20 off your first order from SeatGeek. Now, back to the magic. of dollars. $4 million isn't that much, but if they sign to a 5-year deal, that's $20 million. That's a lot of millions that Dak Prescott's like, yo, I'm not dropping to 33. And Jerry's like, well, it's $20 million if we get up to 37. So it's just such an interesting thing. And I understand wanting to get every single dollar that you can. This is why I'm torn, though, is because my contract was directly affected because of the thought of Andrew Luck's contract. So I understand that Andrew Luck got to eat, but I didn't get to eat as much as I didn't get an appetizer. You know, I didn't get to eat because of that. I was pretty good at my gig, but he was much more important than I was. So I'm very conflicted on this conversation. Very, very conflicted on this conversation because I want people to get rich. I want everybody to get wealthy. I want everybody to get every dollar they can. But also, I think the world's a much happier one when you're winning as opposed to when you're losing. And I think a lot of research points to the fact that whenever the quarterback isn't getting all of that money, that they can be much more successful.